How to charge your action camera. In this video, we will just talk about some simple tips for charging your action camera, cheap action camera. Cheap, expensive, a lot of them kind of work the same. I've had, I think, 24 action cameras, and this is just about how to charge and how to make sure that you're kind of not damaging the device potentially in any way. How to charge it best, because there are some things, believe it or not, that I've learned about charging an action camera, even though it just sounds like a very simple process, and it actually is. Okay, so the first thing you'll need is, of course, your action camera. Turn off your action camera, turn it off completely, put it to the side. Now, which was included in your package with your action camera, again, this one is called LiVo, LiVo SC500, but there's many of them, so this is just an example, one of the 24 that I actually have. Second, you'll need your USB cable. This will not be plugged into a wall, surge protector, anything like that, wall outlet. I typically charge these with a laptop computer, so there's a laptop right there. We're going to use that as an example. Even though there might be some adapters to be able to charge it in the wall, I just do what I think is convenient and the instructions I don't think include anything about adapters. So you've got your USB cable. So this was probably included in your package with the action camera. So one end will go to the action camera, simple enough. Okay. The other end will go to a USB port, so that could be a computer, tower, all-in-one computer, desktop computer, laptop. So in this case, we've got a laptop. So we're just going to plug it in to the USB port there. Easy enough. Laptop should be on. And then what you're going to see is, even though our camera was previously off, it's going to light up. And if your camera is working correctly, it should turn on and give you options. So sometimes the camera won't give you options, it'll just start charging. Sometimes that is the case. But I would recommend, if the camera is giving you options, to specifically select charging mode. So you can, in this case, we have a down button and the OK button up here, charging mode. Now, sometimes the camera will stay on. Now, here's the important step that I am always thinking about every time I charge an action camera. Even though the camera says charging, even though there's a blinking light, sometimes there's no blinking light, but in this case we have these helpful indicators. Blinking light, charging, little icon. The camera is on. It turned on after we selected charging. I would always, because we're not planning to use it, we're just planning to let it sit here and charge, I would always turn off the camera. Turn it off. Oh. Of course, another day I just keep dropping all my cell phones. Okay, let me just put that there so I don't drop it anymore. Okay. I would always turn off the camera. I would always do that. The camera will continue charging. Now, the reason I do that is not necessarily because we're saving battery life. Oh, there might be a problem with this camera. Sorry, I think there's a little bit of a problem with this camera. The USB cable, I think, might not be perfect. Anyways, let's just ignore that. I would always turn off the camera because what happens sometimes is, if the camera is on and charging with certain action cameras... Oh, sorry, it keeps turning on again, but let me just unplug this. You get the idea. So I'm just going to say, with certain action cameras, if you don't turn it off after you select charging mode, it could get extremely hot. Now, this has happened on 2 of my cameras, and I've seen this in Amazon reviews as well. Once you select the option that says charging, you click OK, and it starts charging. While it is still plugged in, turn it off. You have to turn it off. Well, you don't have to, but I would recommend that, because some cameras can get extremely hot, and when I noticed that, I kind of put my hand on it, I was scared. Not all, but some. And I think it's fine to turn it off because the camera's not going to get hot anymore. For some reason it does that while it's charging and if it's turned on at the same time, meaning that you're able to actually use it. But we're not going to be using it. We're just charging it. We're just putting it somewhere next to our laptop computer. So in that case, we're not going to be using it anyways. I mean, I don't see a scenario where I've really used the camera while it's charging. And of course, the additional reason being that some cameras can get very hot if you don't turn it off after you've selected charging mode. So just please be very careful, because the last thing you want to do is to leave it somewhere and especially during the summer. I mean, cameras during the summer in a warm climate, let me tell you, these can overheat so easily that when you touch it, it is very, very hot and it is scary. I mean, if it's that hot on the exterior, imagine the components. I don't want anything bad to happen. I want everyone to be safe. So once you've selected charging mode, turn it off. It'll keep charging. There'll be a blinking light, blink, 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 typically. When it stops blinking, or if it turns from red to blue, then it's probably done. Or just unplug it after an hour and then turn on your camera and then see if you have all the bars filled in. And then if not, just charge a little bit more. But the cameras can overheat if you don't turn off. And don't know if that's included in the instructions. But once you've done charging, just unplug and just say, okay, do we have all the bars here? If yes, then great. If no, then just charge it some more. But unfortunately, some cameras, it's little tricks like that that make me realize that they're all different. Always turn off after you've selected charging mode. Or even if it doesn't say charging mode, if it just starts charging, make sure that once you plug it in to your computer, if it automatically turns on and asks you for charging mode, select charging mode, turn it off. If it doesn't, if it just turns on and starts charging, turn it off anyways. The camera will always charge when you've turned it off, as long as it is plugged in. So that's how to charge your action camera. Might seem self-explanatory, but just something I've learned because I've had 24 action cameras and a lot of them are different. So just little things I learned along the way. Thanks for watching this video and have a nice day.